You are now listening to the West Side of Tha Afterparty.com.
Hi, I'm James Lott Jr., producer and host of Extra Connections. Join me every Monday live at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I bring on people from all walks of life. I will connect you with people, places, things, and ideas. You'll never know who will stop by. That's Extra Connections every Monday on the West Side of Tha Afterparty Radio. See you at the party.
Connections. Extra Connections. 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 Emotions, healings, arts, culture, politics, science, health, music, acting, dance. Connection, extra connection, connection. Extra connection. 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 Older, younger, full hunger. Living life, victory, strife. Arts, culture, politics, science. Health, music, acting, dance. 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 Connections, extra connections, 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 connections, connections. Extra connections. Connections. Extra connections.
Hi, welcome to Extra Connections. It's Monday. We are here. As soon as I get the link, I'm going to send it out. I don't see the link yet, so I'm going to send it out to you guys. I don't see the link. Yeah, I just said I don't see a link. But welcome. I'm James Lott Jr., your host. We're going to get there in a second so you guys can see this. And I have a great guest today. It's my first time bringing on somebody from a profession that is one of my main professions. It was like when I do so many different professions, but it's one of my main professions. So I don't usually. Let's see what's going on here, folks. Give me 1 second. You know, technology is not our friends, right? They're not our friends. What? I am. I don't see it, folks. I don't see it at all. So I'm trying to get it so you guys can see it. I want you guys to see this. I'm scrolling down now, and
did you refresh?
I did. It's like. What's going on? I love this. This is live television, folks. This is live. Well, later if you're watching this on video and stuff, you'll be like, oh, okay. Oops. Let's do this again. I'm going to do this really quick. And let's see what's going on. I'm just going to go out. I didn't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. I'm 50 years old. I don't know technology half the time. Don't know what happened. What's going on here? Let's see. Let's do this. I'm going to quit it. Oh, now I see it. As soon as I get out of it, I see it. It pops up. Of course, kids. Okay, hold on 1 second. We can go right back on. My guest residential organizing, custom closet design, student organization, the owner of Organize to Harmonize, folks. Member of NAPO, like I am, the National Association of Productivity and Organizers. She's the author of A to Zen. And it's a great guide, 26 tips to inspire organization. She's a cool chick, amazing mother, my buddy, Robyn Reynolds.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Now, do a little housekeeping and church announcements. We are on every Monday at Tha Afterparty. Now, I always tell people this because people are like, I looked up Tha Afterparty, I couldn't find it. It's not T-H-E, folks, because we're cooler than that. It's T-H-A Afterparty on Instagram and Twitter. And on Facebook, The Afterparty West, Radio West. Go on that. They have one. You can also follow the other one, too, that's in Dallas. Sure, why not? But if you're watching from Los Angeles, the one in the West is what we want to do because we're on the West Side, folks, here in Inglewood. And also, my page is Extra Connection Show. So you can go there, like that page. I also feature more things about the person who's on the show, other goodies. And this is also podcasted on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker.com, and the YouTube channel, which is JLJ Media. Got that all down. Those are all your church announcements brought to you by James Lott Jr. and Robyn Reynolds. Hey, girls. Okay, so I'm trying to still do this little thing. I'm going to get back on here again because I'm just like this old person and trying to figure this out. Do you like technology?
Technology is only as good, I find, as the person that programs it or the person using it. And I am not the technological person either. It's kind of like driving a car. I don't want to know how it works. I just want to put the key in and go. That's all I want to do.
Totally. It's like and actually in our industry we do have people who do organizing of stuff on social media. So
like digital organizing is a whole specialty in and of itself.
Yes, it is. And I'm like, I don't do all that. Folks. I know a few things, and I'm very happy with what I know. But I don't know everything, of course, about that kind of stuff. And it's always ever changing too. So I really do admire folks who can handle the social medias and all the technology. So now I'm sharing it with the certain groups that I want to share it with. I love it. Okay, let's do it on this page.
But it seems as soon as you learn one thing, then they come out with something else, and then you got to relearn that, and the other thing is old now, and it's like, you can't win for losing.
You can't. It's just not fair. Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you, because now we got everybody shared, we're on there, we're good. What I want to ask is, first of all, did you know when you started that there was actually an industry of organization? Like, did you even know there was, I didn't know there was an industry. I had no idea.
Well, yes, only because I found out about the national organization.
Okay.
At that time, I was like, oh, wow, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to start a business. I never thought I'd be an entrepreneur.
Same here.
And I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I was working full time, decided to start my business. And then shortly after I started, within the year, I got laid off because the economy tanked. And here I am 10 years later.
Oh, like me, 10 years. Same here, 10 years. So I didn't know, I had read Julie Morgenstern's book. That was my introduction to kind of the world of, there's an organizing world. And then I looked up online. I was like, oh, this NAPO thing. But I didn't really, and there's a couple other places too that were doing a few things, but I didn't know it was an industry. And now, of course, cut to 10 years later, Marie Kondo, now hoarders, all this stuff. Now it's like everybody knows it's the industry.
Right.
But for us, we just kind of, where'd you come from? What was the thing you did before that?
I did a multitude of things because I was pursuing an acting career, so I just had jobs. I didn't have a career. Or I didn't have a career here. I'm from New York originally. I went to school for fashion, and I worked in that for 10 years. And then when I came out here, I just had jobs. But I was a personal assistant for many, many years, which I loved.
Okay.
But even when the economy had tanked, there were no personal assistant jobs. And you're talking people that have personal assistants, full-time personal assistants, are people with millions of dollars.
Okay, that's true.
And when they weren't hiring, there were no jobs in that sector. I was like, oh, there's a problem.
Yes.
So that's what I was like, I better do something quick.
Yes, completely. Now, I just have to say, we are live, folks. Apparently your earring is clicking on our mic. Your beautiful earring.
It's stuck in the mic? Is
It's
it hitting
it? Yeah, the front one. I know, it's so beautiful.
Oh, I'm going to have to ruin the look.
I'm like, dang, it's like, we don't want to, but it's like, it's clicking the mic. It's so pretty, folks. Look at these pretty earrings. They're so pretty. I want to put it on. I don't know how many holes left. But she has one on the other ear. There's one on the other ear.
You can see this one.
See that one. Sorry, girl. It's clicking on the mic. I love live television. Because we're real. We keep it real here. It's like,
exactly.
It's like, who cares, right? Now, So like me, I was never an entrepreneur. I was like, I thought that was for somebody else. Like somebody else, other people do that. What got you? What started you? Like, what was your first steps?
Oh, Lord.
Because people always want to know.
Honey,
like,
I can barely remember yesterday, let alone 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I came up with a company name.
Now, how hard or easy was that?
Actually, it was really easy, and then I was shocked that it was actually available, like that the URL was available and everything, because I was like, for sure, somebody has that.
Right.
And actually, the .com was taken,
Okay.
and the .net was available. So I started with the .net,
Okay.
and then I just kept checking, throughout time to see if
Good
the
thing. Keep
.com
checking, yeah.
became available. And when it did, then I bought that too. And then I just started buying a bunch of different spellings or whatever,
Yes,
because it's kind of like you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
Because somebody had started a company with my business name like several years after I had started.
Really?
Yeah, it was a weird situation. She
Okay.
started liking me on Facebook and getting my newsletter. Like it was almost like stalkerish.
Oh,
I had to
dang.
take her to court.
Oh my God.
Yeah, good. But, it ended up, and she was charging literally pennies to organize. And I'm like, you don't know what you're doing.
Oh my.
You
goodness.
don't, you're not even a business. Like you haven't registered as
Yeah.
a DBA.
How
Like you
weird.
don't even know that, because if you did, you would have seen that it wasn't available.
Right.
So,
That's-
but
ooh.
eventually she went away and
Yeah.
all is well.
Where she is at this point.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? We're good where she is. She's done. And then, okay, so then you started. You got a name. You started actually doing the reg. We won't get to the boring stuff. Now, do you remember your first client?
Actually, it was my old boss.
Okay.
Yeah. She was moving out of state, and she wanted me to pack her up here, which I did. And then she was moving to Arizona, and then she flew me to Arizona
Oh, wow, okay.
to unpack her there.
Wow. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
And when you were doing that job, you were like, I love this. I found my calling. Was that kind of the feeling you had, or just kind of like?
Well, yeah, because that's why I wanted to get into it, because I always loved organizing. I do it all the time. My daughter hates me because when I'm bored or it's one of those
Yes.
rainy days, I'm
Yes.
like, guess what time it
We're
is?
gonna
She's
organize.
like, oh, no.
And she's like,
But
great,
I
Mom.
just want to,
Yeah.
I get bored. I'm like, okay, what can I redo? What can I reorganize? Whatever.
Yes.
So it's just something that just came naturally to me that I've done my entire life. Even as a kid, I'd be like, ooh, I'm bored. Grandma, you want to switch rooms? Let's do this. And
funny.
literally, I'd switch rooms. Or I'd take out everything out of my room and then put it back
That's so
in a
funny.
different way.
I love
It's
it.
just, I don't know.
I feel like we all came from other things, most of us
Mm-hmm.
at this point. But then when you look back, you go, yeah, I used to have bunk beds. My bunk bed section was the neatest bunk bed section of all the bunk beds. My posters on that wall by my bunk bed section were all strategically placed. I look back and go, I was organized. Like I really, and back then I had a huge day planner and I had all this stuff.
Oh.
I mean, even when I was in college, I was like, everything, I really was an organized person, but there was no thought to how to be an organizer. I mean,
Right.
now you can.
There was no frame of reference.
Right.
Like who knew it was a
Right.
thing?
Right.
And even when I started, and even sometimes now, people are like, well, what do you organize? Like they still don't get it, especially men.
Yes.
And even one woman, I'll never forget, I was at this event for my daughter's school, and it was right after the election, and the woman thought when I said an organizer that I was a political organizer.
I've heard that. Yes, I've
And
had
she
that.
was like, oh, you must have a really interesting time right now.
Yes,
And I was
I've
like,
heard that too. I've heard
no,
that also.
wrong kind of organizer.
Yes. Do you organize riots and things? I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't do
No.
that. Don't do that. But that leads to what I want to say. Like, so what is your definition of what is a professional organizer? When someone asks you.
A professional organizer releases the stress in your life
Okay.
by implementing systems to make your household run smoothly.
I like that.
I mean, because I only do residential. I don't do businesses.
Okay.
So everything I do is about homes and residences.
Now tell people out there,
Yeah.
because there's another misconception. We don't just tell you to throw everything out.
Oh, absolutely. That's kind of like the first thing I do when I'm at networking groups or meetings or whatever, and I have to do my thing. I'm like, contrary to popular belief,
Yes.
I'm not going to make you throw everything away.
Right.
I promise.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it is. It's like the whole point is, when you are four walls, you can't, it's not Harry Potter. You're not going to just do a spell and expand those walls. So if you want to live comfortably in that space, you can only have what's going to fit in that space comfortably. You know, so I always say my job is to get you to understand and to see what it is that you really need and what you don't need.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I respect your space when I come in there. I always let people know I respect your space. I know I'm touching your stuff. We're touching your stuff together. If I can make it fit where you're comfortable, we're going to work it out. If we can't, we're going to have some questions. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see what's going on. Like, we don't just say, okay, get rid of that, and that. Your life is better.
Yeah. But almost always, there's always a purging process. Because I always say we're an abundant society, and we get a whole lot more than we get rid of. And don't let it be free, because then we get 50 of that thing.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, honestly, I swear one of my clients, I really think that they would go to the maid's cart and just dump the little travel size into their suitcase, because there were hundreds.
I've been there.
Hundreds of them. You can't travel that much.
And I travel a lot. I'm not that much. Right? Not that
you
much.
know, unless you live in hotels 365 and are getting a new one every day.
Right. And so I'm glad you said that too. I mean, there is some things you're going to have to kind of look at and get rid of. And for me, a lot of times, a lot of it's trash. A lot of times, there's just like things that are ripped and broken and just sitting there. And one day I was gonna get that fixed one day, and you never get it fixed. And I always thought the myth of the keeping the boxes of things is a myth. But one day I may need to use it and pack it up when I leave. You've lived here 15 years.
Exactly.
The box is still in the closet.
No. Wait. Not just those boxes, but then the boxes for every single appliance you've ever bought.
Exactly.
You are not putting it back into that box.
No.
Maybe the TV box.
Maybe.
But that box is so big.
Right.
Where are you going to store this box like this? Especially if you live in a condo or an apartment.
Right.
Like, that's a massive box for a 55-inch TV.
Right. And I just want to stop and say, most times your stuff's going to run out.
Right.
You're not going to put it back and store it somewhere or pack it. It's going to run out.
Yeah. Although I do find with Apple people, they will not throw any box away.
Those boxes are nice, though. The packaging's nice.
They may be nice, but they always think it's going to bring so much more value to the item if they sell it.
It doesn't work. Myth.
And I'm like, how much value could a cardboard box bring?
Myth. Well, I think we're taught sometimes as kids too, like you keep everything to keep the boxes, keep the receipts, keep all, and that's going to make it better. I guess on eBay and stuff. Like, no, that doesn't really mean anything. If the phone looks crappy, the box ain't going to make it look better.
It's not going to magically, you know, make it. Oh, there's no more scratches, no more.
I'll pay $600 for it instead of $400 or whatever. No, that's not going to happen. The box is not going to save you. I just but those are things that I find a lot of times when I'm organizing take up a lot of space. It's like they're empty boxes, empty shoe boxes. Shoe box is another one. Empty shoe boxes.
Yeah, but with shoes, I always tell my clients to get clear shoe boxes.
Me too. Or clear bins,
And I put pictures on the front of them.
I like that too.
So that you can, because one, when you buy a shoe box, shoes in the store and it comes in boxes, they're not uniform. They're all different sizes. So they really don't stack evenly in the closet. But when you have the same shoe box, the plastic shoe boxes, then you can just stack those very easily with the pictures. You know exactly what it is. Because even if you see a black shoe in there, you know you have 20 black shoes. You don't know which one it is.
Right. Especially for women, because women have high heels, low heels, flats, sandals,
boots, shoe boots.
Right. So you
all
gotta,
different kinds.
Right. So you got to figure out what's what. So I know I love that. I use that same practice. I love seeing things. I like clear bins and I like seeing stuff.
And it doesn't have to be expensive because it is such a billion-dollar industry now that you can find a ton of organizing supplies at the dollar stores.
You can.
I mean, there are
Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Big Lots,
99-cent store. I mean, literally, you can get shoe boxes, desk drawer organizers, any kind of containers. There's a million things. Now, I'm not going to say the quality is great, but when it's just sitting in a drawer, it doesn't have to be the best of the best.
And you know I'm real on this show, so I'm telling you, I'm not a big fan of Container Store. That's another story. Say that. So there are many other stores you can go to. Michael's, which I'm a part of course.
Well, I always say when you want pretty, then you can go there.
Okay.
Because you're going to pay for pretty.
You sure are. You are.
If you want utilitarian, go to the dollar store.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. Now, the only thing I don't skimp on is my huggable hangers. Joy Mangano, love you. Sponsor the show, Joy. Sponsor the show. I love her hangers. They're the bomb. I've gotten some cheaper versions. They're not as good.
True. And the dollar store even has those.
I know, but I didn't like their versions.
No,
That's
because
the only time.
it's $1.
Yeah, that's the only problem. Because the huggable hangers are supposed to help you keep your clothes in shape and stuff. And that was the only thing. I was like, they would break easily, and that was the only problem. But Joy Mangano's hangers, they're really good. I like those. Sponsor the show, girl. Now, what is one of your philosophies in organizing when you work with a client? What's one thing that you take with you to almost all your clients?
You mean mentally?
Yes,
or
mentally.
Well, I just approach each person individually, actually,
Okay.
because why they do things is going to be different for
Sure.
each client.
That's true.
So I literally just go with an open mind and just seeing what they're
Okay.
dealing with. Because sometimes it's somebody that has passed away and they have all their stuff and it's hard for them to let go of it. Sometimes it's, a divorce and they're still dealing with that, or, they could care less and want to do the, waiting to exhale Angela Bassett, burn it in the front yard.
Yes, yes.
You know,
Okay, not
so-
gonna cry, not gonna cry. Right, exactly.
So, I mean, I just go open to whatever it is that they need and give them as much help as I can. I mean, because my job is to assist them. My job is not to make their life any harder.
I agree with that. And I always say to my people, I work with you, not for you. We're
Exactly.
working together.
Exactly.
I'm a big thing on language, and I just feel like I want to make them know that we're doing this together, because ultimately it's your decisions.
Yeah, because people say, well, do I have to be there? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, like,
I can't make decisions on
Right.
what you want and what you don't.
Right.
I mean, once everything is decided, I don't need you to watch me organize
Yes,
stuff
yes.
if we're doing a
I
closet
agree.
or
I agree.
this or that or whatever. But I do need you to make the decisions because it's your stuff.
I agree with that. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about some deeper topics. We're going to get as real as we can on this episode of Extra
I'm
Connections.
scared.
That's why you should be
I'm
scared.
scared.
She's scared. She'll be scared. This is the After Party Radio, and I'm James Lott Jr. We'll be right back.
Get out of my way. Get out of my way. I don't have time for games. I don't have time for the sayings. I'm looking for helpful names. Watch out for my aims. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. I don't have time for games. I don't have time for the sayings. I'm looking for helpful names. Watch out for my aims. I've got work to do. Get out of my way. I got work to do. Get out of my way. I'm looking for helpful names. I don't have time for games. Watch out for my aims. I've got work to do.
And we are back. That is my voice, but that is with my group Chog. I do some stuff with them. They're a quirky dance group. I have several albums with them, and that's a song I do with them. You can get that on SoundCloud under James Lott Jr. We're back. Extra Connections. Robyn Reynolds, professional organizer extraordinaire. Hello, girl, and author of A to Zen. So we're going to talk about that too. But first, I want to talk about a little deeper. You and I both, as we were saying, are underrepresented. That's the word she taught me today. In our industry, that is mostly women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a man, so I'm like, it's like 5% men, maybe, if they even know that many. Very
Yeah.
few of us. And then of color, we're still lower numbers also. So now you're probably like me. When we first started, we didn't think anything about that. Of course, we're starting a business. You're just kind of starting a business.
Right.
When did you kind of notice that there wasn't many of us running around, so to speak? Was it a conference? Was it a meeting? Like, when did you kind of notice?
Yeah, because I joined the national organization as well as the LA
LA chapter.
chapter. And then at the LA chapter, not a lot of people come anyway. And you have a lot of organizers that aren't even part of the association anyway. But there were many, many meetings that I would be the only one. There are actually quite a few more now.
Yeah, there's a few. I've had some on the show. So.
As opposed to 10, 11
Oh,
years
yeah,
ago
yeah,
when I started.
yeah.
Because, I could probably only think of maybe a handful.
Yeah. I wonder why that is, though. Like, why aren't more people of color organizing?
I don't know if it's so much organizing as it is being entrepreneurs.
Okay, good point.
Because trust me, I miss that steady paycheck
Oh, yeah,
sometimes.
okay, I miss vacation
The
pay.
benefits and the
sick
this
pay.
and that.
I miss that girl. I miss that too. I miss all that. I
You
do.
know, so there's something to be said
Yes,
for a 9 to 5.
Yes, yes,
But
there
I
is.
also, the trade-off is being in charge of me.
Yes.
Because I like being in charge of me. And as a single parent, I love being in charge of me.
Yeah.
Because when I was working and my daughter was in preschool, to have to get up the courage to say, can I leave early to go to this? Can I come in late to go to this? Can I need the day? I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't want to go. I ain't going.
Okay.
I just don't book any clients that day. Boom, I'm
Right.
off.
That's a good point for motherhood. That's a good point. It actually can work to your advantage. You can actually maybe book a client in the afternoon, so you can be at a morning thing for your daughter, or book a client later, so you can be at this thing. You can actually work that out, can't you? Or have a thing in the morning and then see your daughter in the afternoon. You can do all kind of stuff, can't you?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely has been the best thing as far as scheduling, especially when my daughter was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a teenager now. She's in high school, so I
High
mean,
school. Ooh.
she's a good girl.
She's a good girl. Okay,
Yes.
very good.
She's a
Shout
good
out
girl.
to what's her name?
Kennedy.
Hi, Kennedy. Shout out to Kennedy.
Hi, boo.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, good girl. That's good. But the same, it's great when you were young. When she was young,
Yeah.
you were able to kind of work around her schedule.
Because I could just do it, during school hours,
Yeah.
when she was in school, so that I could take her to the school and then pick her up.
Yeah.
Even if she stayed after school, at after school programs, I had until 6 o'clock to be able to work.
It's good. And you're showing her a good example of a strong, working black woman. I love
Yes,
it.
child.
I love it. That's why you're showing her. You're right. I think we need to see more positive images of black people, first of all. But I'm so happy that you're showing your daughter that you can work your life out in a way you want.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and she definitely sees that. She just did this program, and they had to do this thing. She did a program at USC, and for a week they stayed at USC.
Oh, wow.
And they had to do something where they had to thank the people for getting them where they are. And my family is all deceased, but she knows my mother, my grandmother,
Okay.
because that's who I was raised by.
Okay.
And she was like, she thanked me, her grandmother, and her great grandmother, and she doesn't even know them
Wow.
because she's like, great grandma raised grandma, and then grandma raised you, and you raised me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Kids will do that to you, make you softies. They'll do it to you. That's so cute, though.
no.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
she knows.
She knows. Okay.
She knows.
She knows. I think that young boys too, but young girls need positive imagery and positive role
Yeah.
models, especially from other women,
Yeah.
so they can see that there's things that are possible. Again, I'm gonna say this: black women a lot of times get really tough in this world, like even tougher than black men sometimes. They get it really rough out there in the workforce, especially. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, thank God, you women are strong.
Did you ever see that play or read the book, Having Our Say? There was a play not on our own. It was it was on Broadway. It was these two older women. They were sisters. They were over 100. Like well over 100.
sounds
Like
familiar, kind of, but I didn't see
106,
it.
110 or something,
Yeah.
like when they passed away. But the thing is that they talk about something in the book where black women are on the bottom of the totem pole. And they go through the order of where people are, and black women are way down here, compared to white women, white men, and black men. And it's really interesting. They go into, what their beliefs are and stuff.
It sounds familiar. I didn't see it. It sounds familiar. No, I'm fully aware that even in this society where I get done wrong as a black man,
Yeah.
I do have privilege. I do have I have male privilege.
Right.
So I understand. I have no problem accepting that on some level that I have male privilege, and so over black women, I still am a man on
Right.
some level. So there's some things that I still can get away with, you couldn't.
Right.
And there's some ways they'll look at me a certain way, they wouldn't look at you that way.
Right. And there's still a very big inequality between men and women in general.
Yeah, it is.
Hello, soccer team.
Yeah, right, exactly right. Yes. Soccer team. Yes.
So it's just, what is it, 72 cents or something to every
It's ridiculous.
dollar, on the dollar?
It's just all ridiculous.
It's unnecessary.
I don't understand why they think women are the fairer sex or whatever. I don't get why they don't think women give birth.
Because they want to be in control. That's why.
Yeah, it's control.
Everything is controlled. They're losing their control and they don't like it.
There is that going on. A lot of that going on.
Yeah.
And that's why in this business that we're in, I love that the women are the majority. I have no problem being not the majority. I learned so much from our sisters out there who do stuff, and I love a lot of them out there and support my shows. But I have no problem. I have no ego with that. I'm just like, good. You have something that you're the leaders of. That's fine with me. Not a lot of industries that women are leaders of, that founded things. Like this is like the women founded this.
Yes.
And brought this together.
Absolutely.
So I have no problem being somebody who just let me in.
And it was founded by 5 women here in LA.
By 5 women in LA. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I love it. And so we're like, what, 35 years old at this point? 35.
I don't think it's quite 35.
Not 35. So getting there.
Yeah.
It's a young industry, but we're not middle aged yet. We're kind of still, younger adults. So that's I think it's very interesting. Now for you, the question I've always want to ask.
Yes.
Because I know for me as a black man, I change my hairstyles. I used to all the time. Now I just shave my head because I just can't take it anymore. Do you ever think about your hair when you go out for clients?
Yes. Especially now that my hair is natural. First of all, people don't know what to expect when because more times than not, they're booking me over the phone, and I know they don't expect.
Our names, first of all, are nondescript. James Lott Jr., Robyn Reynolds. Doesn't mean, you can't tell us that. My name is in like Tufuri or something, or like Shadaka or something. Like it's just generic, so to speak.
And I grew up in Long Island.
Love it.
A lot of times people, or I won't say a lot, but a few times people have said, "Oh, I thought you were a middle-aged Jewish woman." I'm like, not exactly.
No.
By osmosis, I grew up in Long Island,
I love it.
but not really.
Yes.
I am conscious of if it's a first meeting with somebody, how I look or what my hair is like, because if I put it, leave it out, it's out.
Ooh, I love it.
I got product in it that kind of lays it down there, but it's out.
I love it.
So I'm just, because unfortunately, I don't care what people say. Everyone makes a judgment about you based on what you look like initially.
They do.
So I just try and be conscious of that and tame it, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna relax my hair anymore, because that probably won't happen again.
Okay.
And I did that my entire life.
Yeah.
And then I just got tired of it because I kept seeing women with natural hair.
Were you taught that relaxed straight hair was the way to go? Apparently, like you have curly hair, it's not that good. Were you taught that, or
I wasn't taught it, but my hair literally has been relaxed since I was a little kid, like 6, 7 years old.
Wow. Okay.
And my mother, although she wasn't a hairdresser, she knew how to do hair because she did my hair my entire life until I moved out here. I never went to a salon.
Wow.
And I had long hair. I did not. It was very healthy.
Yeah.
Until I started putting the curling iron on.
Okay, there you go. There's the story.
But it was just something that was always done. So I just always did it. I did have back in the day a fro for like a year.
Okay.
When I was like 13 or something.
Yeah.
And then that went away real quick. I'm not really sure why. I think I just got bored with it. Yeah.
I've had long hair, feathered hair, big hair, small hair, I've had everything. And because to me, it's just hair.
Right.
It's fun. And black folks change their hair. Black women change their hair a lot. It's what we do.
I know. My daughter's friend, she saw her, they'll see each other every so often, a few months, whatever. And she just told the other day, every time I see you, your hair is different.
Like, but that's what we do. I mean,
exactly. That's what we do. We don't, and there's a white girl, obviously, she just got long, straight hair. It's like, well, you actually could do stuff to your hair. You all just don't.
Just don't. I do obviously interviews with celebrities too and actors and stuff. And there was an actress on one of the soaps who had to tell them, black women one day will have their hair straight. The next day it might be shorter because we may cut it. We may add stuff the next day because it's a weave. And I get explained to them, we do change our hair frequently, because it was like saying, well, will the audience get it? Like, no, the audience will get it. If they know black women, we change our hair. We change our style sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes it confuses the heck out of them.
I know.
Oh, because they're like, wait a minute. My daughter, I put braids in her hair one summer, and her hair was probably shoulder length at that point. And somebody, even I think it was one of my friends or something, said, "Wow, I didn't realize her hair was so long." And I'm like, really? In the meantime, the braids are like halfway down her back.
Yes,
I'm like, really?
Right.
I'm
right.
like, they're extension child.
Yeah,
They're not-
it's like it's all right.
it's like they just don't have a clue. It's okay.
They don't.
That's okay.
But you made a good point about appearance, because I know for me sometimes when my head's freshly shaved, I have the goatee, and I'm this big guy, the big black man thing I have to overcome. That's why I smile a lot, and I'm a very happy, friendly person anyway. But I very much notice I smile a lot more when I first meet somebody, so they know that I'm fine, I'm safe.
I'm not a threat.
I'm not a threat. I'm like not a threat. I'm not a threat. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting. So has anybody ever turned you away, ever in your profession, or no? Or,
Not at the door, but I know I'm pretty sure, because you can't know for a fact unless they just
Right.
say, slam the door or something. But I have had people that I've had phone conversations with, then they ask me about my website, and they go to my website, and then I don't hear from them again. Even if we've set up an appointment, then they cancel
I have
or
a few of those.
something.
I have a few of those.
And it's like, okay, whatever.
Right. I don't let it bother me. I just
No, because I'm like, bye, Felicia.
yeah, okay. Like other people, there's enough people out there who need our help.
Exactly.
That if you don't want to work with me because of a hairstyle or a skin tone, then we don't work together. Then you don't want
No, exactly. It just isn't. Everything. There's enough business out there, like you said, for us all to be able to work. And if you don't want to work with me, I just look at it as karma, because if that's your reasoning, karma.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Now, I've had some folks tell me on some of my shows. I do this show called the SOS Show with James Lott Jr., my organizing show, and one person told me that she was fat shamed because she was shorter and bigger, and I know she's not even that fat. Like she's just curvy. And the person said, I don't think you could do the work. So I've been in business for like 15 years. Like, I'm obviously doing the work. Like, they saw her appearance and was like, never mind.
When she came to the door.
Yep.
Oh, dang.
So it's funny about appearance. And I know, and for me, I've had a few male organizers say to me, well, I can't seem to get arrested because I'm a man. And I'm like, I don't have problems getting clients.
Right.
I think part of it is your attitude, is how you carry yourself. Isn't that part of it? I think anyway, just period.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're a business owner, you have to be professional. You have to return phone calls. You got to return emails. It's like I hear people say all the time that, they called such and such for whatever. It doesn't have to be an organizer or whoever, and they don't return phone calls. I don't know how you stay in business if you don't do that.
I know.
If I didn't do that, I'd be on the street somewhere.
I know. That bugs me. It bugs me. Where you call somebody, you leave a message, and then you don't call, and like 2-3 days later get back to you. I'm like, well, maybe I needed you now.
Or they don't get back to you at all.
Yeah, there's that too.
Or
emails, look at your emails, like, and you're an organizer, or you're this, and you don't get back to your emails. Like, that's kind of part of the process of having systems set up.
Exactly. That's why I'm always on time or early, a few minutes early, because I'm just professional. You get my contract, you get this, you get that. Like, I have everything in order, because I even had a client tell me, because she had an appointment set with somebody already, had ended up calling me, and we had a conversation, and she's like, she ended up just booking me because because I had my contract, because all the ducks were in a row, because I was a business person and not just, a fly-by-night, oh yeah, this is something that I do.
It's funny. So, as you know, we're part of several different groups online, and one is our NAPO group online on Facebook. And I mentioned a while back that I was turned away because I was black, and the person's husband said it out loud behind the door. I don't want that black man touching my stuff. And so when she came out, she tried to apologize to me, and I was like, I'm not accepting your apology, and I don't want your money, and I'm just going to leave. And I'll give you the money. It's like, no, I don't want your money. You knew when you hired me I was black. I didn't know your husband's racist. Don't you know that already? I kind of felt that way. But I didn't feel the need to school her either. It's like, that's your business.
Exactly.
But the reactions were interesting that I got online. Many of them were supportive, like, oh my goodness. And I want to give a shout out to our now former president, Ellen DeLapp, who called me personally to say, James, don't leave the business. Stay in the business. I was laughing. I'm not going anywhere.
Ellen Faye.
Ellen DeLapp called me. This happened recently.
She's the president.
Well, president. I know Susie Hayman's coming in. I'm like, she's still current president?
No, Ellen's still president.
So Ellen DeLapp, still president.
I think.
I know,
honey, I'm so confused.
well, I know Susie Heyman is now been
You might
elected
be right.
president.
Yes,
She's been
Susie-
president-elect. She's president-elect. Either
Time
way,
flies.
but either way, the point is that the president of the association called me to say,
Right.
James, don't leave the business. We love you. Stay in it. Don't let them keep you
That's
down.
really nice.
That's very cool. And I loved her reaction. But some of the reactions were just kind of like, but James, you should consider what she's going through. I think you commented on my page on that post too, also very strongly. I don't remember exactly what it was. And here's the post. I don't remember the post. But I think, and people were saying, I was like, no, I don't have to consider her feelings. Sorry. I mean, that's
exactly.
that's
Until
really-
you walk a day in our shoes,
Right.
you don't have the right to say anything.
Right. And that's kind of a thing it was an opening thing because I got a lot of conversation on that
Yes.
page, which was great. And I'm glad it was open dialogue. But do you feel sometimes that, when we're out there and we claim something, we're black, we get dismissed kind of like, well, no, you guys should think of what they're going through or what, maybe, like they told me, maybe she was being beaten by him or something like, what does it have to do with me getting turned down for a job being black?
Exactly. Because then you're just lumping everybody in one bucket, you know. I have to say I haven't really had circumstances or instances or any experiences like that with regards to my business. Sometimes I wonder how somebody is going to take it, or I should say I used to. Earlier on in my business, the first few years, I used to wonder, should I put my picture on my website? Should I not put my picture on my website? You know, like these were things that I thought about it, and then I was like, you know what? I can't change it. It's like you're going to book me or you're not. It's just the reality.
I was doing the same thing. I was like, well, back then I had longer hair, so I said, should I put it on there? Would they think it's like an urban thing? I want to make sure because we're organizers. I mean, take the color out and everything. We're professional organizers. We want to professionally organize.
Exactly.
That's all we want to do. Who cares if I'm a man, woman, black, whatever? But you do, well, when you're black, you are hyper aware of your blackness anyway all the time in situations. You just can't help it.
Especially in 2019.
That's another story. That's a whole other show.
Stay tuned next week.
Yeah, it's a whole other show about being black in 2019. That's a whole other show. But the point I just want to make to folks is that we do sometimes, and other people of color who watch this, who are organizers, may agree with us. There are things we kind of have to think about, just kind of hyper aware about.
Right.
But the bottom line is we just want to be organizers.
Right.
And we're fortunate we live in California, and we're fortunate we live in Southern California.
Yes.
Or if you're somewhere else, please comment and tell me what your experience is like. But we're lucky we don't live in the South or the North or the East or whatever like that. There may be a different problem, maybe different.
And I've asked there's one person that I talked to or have talked to actually about that does live in the South.
Okay.
She's in Atlanta, and she said she has no problem, you know. And I'm like, then she just doesn't allow it to be a problem.
Okay.
You know, there's that too. If you allow it to be a problem, then it's going to be a problem. If you don't allow it to, then it's not going to be.
And we'll take a break on that note. She just dropped the mic on that one. So this is Extra Connections. I am James Lott Jr. Robyn Reynolds will be right back.
I won't make it through. Right now I feel blue, but I won't make it through. I won't make it through. I won't make it through. Right now I feel blue, but I won't make it through. Are you looking for me? Am I looking for you? Stuck like glue, like glue. I'm in my feelings, trying to get out. I have my feelings, figuring it out. Let's go this way. Follow me. Right this way. You'll see. Let's go this way. Follow me. Right this way. You'll see. I will make it through. I will make it through. Right now I feel blue. I will make it through. I will make it through. I will make it through. Right now I feel blue, but I will make it through. It's getting late. I'm wide awake. Touching my face. What can you say? Am I looking for me? Are you looking for you? Stuck like glue? Like glue. I've almost made it. I'm almost out. Let's do this. Figuring it out. I've almost made it. I'm almost out. Let's do this. Figuring it out. Let's go this way. Follow me. Right this way. You'll see. Let's go this way. Follow me. Right this way. You'll see. Let's go this way. Follow me. Right this way. You'll see. Let's go this way. Follow me. Right this way. You'll see. I will make it through. I will make it through. Right now I feel blue. I will make it through.
And we are back. It's another song of mine with the group Chog. I Will Make It Through. I wrote that after I had Bell's palsy. And as you guys know, it's been a year. I am a year, 95% better from Bell's palsy. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. I could this time last year.
Amen.
This last year, I was laying in bed. My face was paralyzed, and I could not talk.
Oh my God.
So I'm very happy, trust me, to be here
that
today.
must have killed you.
You know it did, girl. James Lott Jr. was silenced. I was silenced. My friend Mark is out there. He knows me. Yeah, I was silenced. I couldn't say anything. I almost cussed. I couldn't even cuss. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't spit. I couldn't do nothing. I did lose some weight though, 'cause I couldn't eat. That part was nice.
There's an upside to everything.
There's an upside to everything, of course. I'm here with Robyn Reynolds, professional organizer and author of A to Z. And we're just talking because I actually have a presentation I'm doing on A to Z's organizing. But her book is called A to Z. She put this together. It's cute. It's a cute little book. Look at this book. It's so cute. And it's more about inspirational things. And so talk about that a little bit about this book.
Well, what it is just a cute little. I actually wanted it to be one of those little.
Pocketbook things.
Yeah, those little tiny books that you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
at the checkouts of the bookstores.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find a publisher for that, so I had to
okay.
self-publish. But it is available on Amazon. But it's really just something to give you a little bit of information on motivating you to stay organized, and things like that. Each letter of the alphabet pertains to something else. For instance,
X is for expensive. I like that. X is for expensive.
I had to get creative on that.
I love it.
There's not too many X words
This
in
sure
general.
isn't. You're right, there isn't. D is for declutter. F is for freedom. I like some of these. I is for inspiration. N is for new. Like that. S is for stress-free. But the one I was looking at a second ago was W. W is for who, what, where, why, and when. The 5 W's.
Yeah.
And so, so now, how hard or easy was it to put this book together? Because you're talking about you're trying to do this other stuff, but how was it to put together? How was it?
Let's see.
Because I do books, so I know it's not always easy. Just kind of.
Well, let's preface it by saying that I am not a writer. Even the little bit of writing that was involved in that took a whole lot of thinking. It's nothing that I've ever really enjoyed, and nothing that I felt I was good at, even in school.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge, but I knew what the concept of what I wanted, so that made it a little bit easier.
Yes.
And then we're back to that technology thing with the self-publishing and putting it all together, and how many times I had to go over that and whatever. But all in all, basically I'm really happy with it. I like what it says. I just wish it was in the format of what I wanted.
Yeah.
So if there's any publishers out there in the little pocketbooks, hey, give me a shout out.
Give her a shout out. But this book is lightweight. You can throw it in your purse. You can throw it in a bag. It's
a good stocking stuffer, a good
Yes.
hostess gift.
Yes.
And it's just good to be able to have, so that when you feel that you need a little help to keep going, and if you're doing the process yourself, it's good for that.
So, can people get organized?
Absolutely.
And it's a learned behavior, isn't it?
It can be. Most of us have, we're born with it, but it definitely can be learned. But the thing is, it's all about your brain and how your brain works. I tell my clients all the time, you have your strengths in doing whatever it is, and I don't do those. Like, if your strength is technology, that's not my strength. My brain will shut off in a heartbeat if you start talking to me about gigs and wigs and bites and weights and
widgets and things.
It just doesn't work.
Yes.
But this is how my brain works.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of retraining your brain to be able to keep things going. That's why it's not just a matter of decluttering and stuff. It's a matter of implementing systems that somebody can follow. And I say they have to retrain themselves because I don't live with them. I don't live with you. So you have to, if you're now putting your keys in your purse here where you used to put it over here, but this makes more sense, then you have to retrain yourself to do that. What do they say, 21 days to create a new habit and 30 days for it to stick?
Yeah.
So, it's got to be like, oh, no, I'm supposed to put it over here. Can't go over there. So it's really a brain thing, and people don't understand that, which is why they don't see it as a necessity necessarily.
Oh, so let's talk about that for a second. I tell people all the time, we're not an elective thing. We actually are just like electrician, a plumber, a nanny, a housekeeper. People, when you hire people for services, we are a service industry.
You hire people for services because one, either you don't want to do it yourself,
Exactly.
you can't do it
Right,
yourself,
right.
or someone else does it better.
Yep.
That's why you hire somebody, and you hire them to solve a problem. We solve problems.
Yes.
You have a problem, we will come and solve it.
Yes.
It's
Seriously,
just really
seriously.
that simple, you
Yeah.
know. But people look at it as a luxury, but you're paying for the expertise. You know, it's not a $10 an hour job.
Thank you.
You're paying for the expertise, the labor, the knowledge that we have and that we give to you. So that's why, you know, people don't look at it as something that they need. You know, it's like, oh, I'll do it one day.
And it's funny for me because a lot of my clients are African American. I purposely have gone after that market because I feel like it's an underused market, and people, they don't realize they could use an organizer a lot of times. They want one, but again, they look at it as something that white folks do. It's like, no, anybody can have an organizer. It's not just a white folk thing. And I've worked with so many wonderful black people in South LA and the LA area that are so glad and are actually using the systems that we put together still. But they had no idea at first that they could even have an organizer. Like, they just thought it was just like, they know how to hire an electrician and a plumber, all this, but they're like, no, you can hire an organizer too. It's not just a white thing. It's not just something that happens in the North. I mean, I'm not the Wicked Witch of the North or anything. No, it's just like, there you can actually I worked at churches. I worked at all kind of places. And they're like, oh, but now they're getting a little more normalized. Like, oh, okay, right, it's a service like any other.
And the TV shows have helped to normalize it a little bit, or to get people to understand what it is.
What are your thoughts on Recondo? You know, I've been in Force magazine. Everybody knows my thoughts already. So I'm like, I did that already. But what are your kind of quick thoughts on Homegirl?
She has a husband that's an expert marketer. So there's
Where's
that.
my tea? Where's my tea? Okay, yes.
I think in all when you watch the show, I wrote a blog post on it.
Yeah, you did too. Yes, you did.
And I watched all the shows because I'm like, if I'm going to write something, then I have to watch so that I know what the heck I'm talking about.
I agree.
And the way they show it on the show is that she is more of a consultant than she is an organizer.
Yes.
So she'll come in and say, okay, do this and I'll be back next week.
Yeah.
You know, she'll give you a big task to do.
Yes.
If I emptied out, all the clothes in my client's closet with the drawers on top of it, that crap would be pushed onto the floor.
Exactly.
So
Still
they
there.
could sleep, and then it would be there the next week when I got there.
Yes.
So, I'm sure that it works for certain people because there are many organizers that do actually follow that method, have paid for the certifications and all that stuff. And I'm like, again, the marketing of her husband.
Yeah, that's good.
But for majority of people that are disorganized, it will not work.
It won't work. I agree. And I said this, of course, in Forbes magazine, all these things I've done. I give her points because I come from television also. I come from production. So it's very produced. It's a TV show on Netflix. So it's produced. So people are like, well, she's wearing, skirts and this. And I get, well, it's a show.
Right.
They're not going to show her dressed like some of us dress when we do organizing. I mean,
exactly.
Right.
I'm not going to sit in a garage in heels and, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to have my old clothes on.
Maybe Halloween I'll do that, but not, Yeah.
And the whole thing about sparking joy, I just think that is really unrealistic because, I joke with people and say, my hemorrhoid cream doesn't spark joy, but damn it, if I need it, I'm going to be joyful then. But everything serves a purpose.
Yes,
not everything is going to spark joy, but it serves a purpose.
Right, I agree.
So, So there you go, my 2 cents.
So just 2 cents, because my last thing is I always feel like I give her kudos because she got a show on Netflix, and it actually makes our industry more pronounced. So now it shows that we can tell people that's one way. Now here's another 20 different ways out there.
Right.
So people shouldn't get upset so much. It's like everybody's all upset. I'm just like, no. I'm like, because the latest thing now, if you saw, we don't have much time to talk about it, but just briefly, the whole cleaning versus organizing thing is happening now. Whereas the service going, well, we'll clean and organize your house.
Right.
And so organizers are pissed right now. They're like, nah. And yes, they're two different things. Trust me. I've had to go after people who had hired that service to reorganize their stuff.
Right, because they're not organizers.
Right.
They're housekeepers.
Yes.
And it's funny because almost every house I go into that has a housekeeper, they're always complaining that the housekeeper just puts crap everywhere
Yes, right.
and they can never find anything.
Right.
No matter how many times they tell them that this goes there and this goes there, or how many languages it's in, they
Yes.
put it where they want to put it.
Right.
So they're not organizers. You know, they don't understand. It'll be interesting to see what happens with
Yeah,
that.
me too. I'm very curious. But I'm not threatened. There's enough work to go around.
Absolutely not.
But the thing is, I also find it's funny, neat and tidy, I did a whole post on this too. Neat and tidy doesn't always mean organized.
No.
People need to get, people say, well, I'm neat. And I'm like, well, no, you can throw stuff under the bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, you can have this desk really
Oh, yeah.
nice, but everything that was on it is on the floor in the
Exactly.
corner. So,
Yeah. So, yes, neat and tidy. You can walk in the house, but then, like, you can't find the keys every day.
yeah, exactly.
Or your comb. I had a friend who couldn't find a comb. I was like, I put the comb down somewhere. I'm like, and the house was, like, neat, but the comb was at somewhere else every day. They would walk around and drop the comb off somewhere. That's not organized.
No,
Comb in the same place every day. That's organized.
exactly.
Take that. Take that. Speaking of people doing cleaning, so yeah, so I just want to make people aware that there's many ways to organize, many ways to do things, and just as before we head out because the time's already up already.
Oh my God,
It
this
goes
was
by fast.
fun.
You have to come back. You have to come back. Okay, so what is one thing you would like listeners and viewers to leave with about you and organizing?
You know, it's funny because people will always ask, in general, what separates you from someone else? And the biggest thing that I always tell people, even when they're looking for an organizer, is because it's such a personal job that we're doing, it really is personality and who you match with. And I really, really try to make the process fun. I have a sense of humor, and no matter how heavy the situation is, I mean, I'll be there for the client and I'll, comfort them, but I also want to make it not so dreadful either. And people, I've had people tell me, oh, I was so stressed and so anxious, but it's really not that bad. And I'm like, no, because we're having fun.
Having
Like
fun.
you're laughing.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
We're having fun.
I'm the same way. We're having a good time.
So we're two peas in a pod.
We are. Now, Miss Robyn, tell folks where they can find you on social media.
They can find me on Instagram, Diva Organizer. They can find me on Facebook, Organize to Harmonize. Then that's number 2. On my website, of course, is Organize to Harmonize with the number 2. Where else? Twitter, Diva Organizer. And then by phone is 310-625-6522. Don't let that fool you because I do work everywhere. I work where my clients are.
Okay.
I travel.
Where the money is, she travels. It's a gift for you. And
Oh,
your daughter.
you're so sweet. Ooh,
your
I love
daughter.
the bag. It's my colors.
And it's Post-it note bag for
Ooh,
organizers.
of course.
Of course. The book is A to Zen. Go
Available
get
on Amazon.
it. Amazon, folks. And Amazon's having a big thing coming up July 15th to 16th.
Yes.
So,
What is it? Prime.
yeah, so get it.
Not Prime. What do they call it? Like
Yeah,
a
some-
Black Friday.
Yeah, some kind of thing. they're
sale
doing. Yeah,
in
something.
July.
So get the book while you're at it. And I'm James Lott Jr. Of course, you can follow me where all James Lott Juniors are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. That's right. Google me and you'll find me anywhere. Extra Connection Show is on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on iHeartRadio, Spreaker.com, YouTube, and iTunes, and here on Tha Afterparty Radio. Thank you, Miss Brittany in the booth, for doing what you do all the time. Thank you so much for being on the show. I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next Monday.
DJ Britt Love.
She say, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mom. I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even got it tatted on me. 81, they'll bring the crashers to the party. And you know me. Turn the 02 into the 03, dog. Without 40 Ollie, there be no me. Imagine if I never met the broskies. I say shit like, whoa.
Another one.
I say shit like, whoa. This is not fairy tale. I
We the
already
best
know how you
music.
like it. Make you trust
The
me.
legacy continues.
Girl, that shit some child's play.
DJ
I say shit like, Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here. Yeah, got the drink, get me going back to back. Yeah, going back to back. I got the drink, get me going back to back. Yeah, I'm going back to back. Had his superpowers, last 223,000 hours, and it's cause I'm off of CC, and I'm off the Hennessy, and like your boy from Compton said, you know this ain't free. I got girls that I should've made pay for it, got girls that I should've made wait for it, I got girls that'll cancel a flight back home, stay another day for it. You got attitude on 99, yo, on agua, yo, stomach on flat, and yo, what's that? Yeah.
How you doing? Baby, what you getting into? Baby, what you getting into? I don't know what your name is or who you getting with. Girl, I ain't living without you. Hey girl, how you doing? How you doing? I've never seen nothing like you. Cause a body that shape is your claim to fame. Girl, I ain't living without you.